All right, it's fine.
So I'm trying to see. Okay, yeah, I think I found it. Okay, can you see it now, Maria? It should be shown on your end.
Yes, Farida, I can see it.
Okay,
Thank you.
great. All right. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, hello, El Mahmoud. How are you doing? Good evening. Okay, it looks like they're both on mute.
I'm doing fine, man. Good evening, man.
Evening.
Good evening, everyone.
Okay, great. Let's go ahead and
Okay, good evening. I'm fine.
evening, Dr. Rebecca. All right, great. So I'm just gonna give about 2 more minutes for more people to join the call, and then we can officially start. There's a lot of noise around me today, unfortunately, because I don't know. As usual, NEPA issues, said transformer, something. So yeah, it's quite noisy here. Hopefully, it doesn't interfere so much with the communication. But please confirm if you can hear me loud and clear from your end before we start. Hello, can you all hear me loud and clear?
Yes,
Yes,
we.
ma'am. I can hear you, ma'am.
Okay, great. So it's already 7:02. So I'm just gonna kick start. Good evening, Miss Bola. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Good evening.
Evening.
Good
How are
evening,
you
everyone.
doing today?
Good,
I am
good.
personally excited to have you on this mentor hour because, um, I have met you one-on-one before. I've been in one of your classes, and I
Yeah.
know how much knowledge and experience you have when it comes to the manufacturing sector. So I feel like everyone that is on this call today is going to go away with something because you just know how to put things in perspective. I feel like that's one thing that I've really learned from you, right? That I take away from
Oh,
all
wow. Thank
sessions or
you.
anything that I'm reading from you. There's a way you put things in perspective that just makes me know that, okay, this person knows what they're saying. So thank you so much for honoring our invitation to be a part of this. I know a lot of people are excited to be on this call, and most of them are joining now as we start. But just before we start, I just wanted to give a heads up. I'm using my personal Zoom. It still has that 40 minutes limit. So once the limit is about to expire, Maria would inform us and then we'll take a break and come back again with the same link, just in case we run over time.
Teach them well. Who brought this cup of Gary here? I don't understand.
So over to you, Ms. Bola. Can you share with us just your entrepreneur story in 5 minutes, if you could sum it up? What are the major highlights? I've heard it before, but I feel like there are people on this call that would want to hear it as well. So please go ahead and share with us.
Okay, good evening, everyone. It's so good to be here this evening. My name is Adebola Adefila, like Farida just mentioned, and I'm an entrepreneur in the manufacturing space. I'm thankful for the opportunity to share my story and also to learn from everyone this evening. Let me first of all say, I actually respect everyone's courage here. I salute your courage, I salute your resilience to come into the entrepreneurship journey. Anyways, why am I saying this? I'm saying this because we all know we're in an environment that is structured in a way to just make you fail from the get-go. And for you to see that and you're still here, you want to learn and you want to push your businesses forward and all of that, regardless of the environment, it's something of, to celebrate and to salute. And also, regardless of the environment we find ourselves, we're also aware that we have people who are still thriving and who are doing well without doing anything illegal or being fraudulent along the line. So just tells us that it's doable and it's achievable. And I'd very much like to see everyone here today maneuver through the murky waters of the environment we find ourselves and thrive. So I'll start by saying my entrepreneurship journey pretty much started over 2 decades ago. Coming from a business-oriented family, I had no choice but to watch and learn. So I kind of dabbled into business early on in life. And while in school, I was doing some form of buying and selling in school. And while doing that, I kind of just imbibed the habit of accountability without knowing, the habit of also realizing what it means to have a turnover, and from there, it was something I was doing out of fun anyway. So it wasn't, as a student, it wasn't like I needed the money, but I enjoyed doing what I was doing. And I did that for a while, up until I left the country, went for my master's, came back, and I had a stint in public sector. Now, for the public sector part of my life, it was not fulfilling. It was a bit frustrating. It wasn't like the work wasn't there. The work was there, but again, I wasn't getting fulfilled, and I just felt this is not me, and I needed to leave. So I opted out early, from public sector to just join my mom. And at the time, I didn't care how much I was going to be paid, from how much was going to pay me. I just wanted to do something that I always loved doing. And we're doing importation and trading. And from there, we veered off into manufacturing. Now, the manufacturing part actually started as like an informal discussion with my siblings at the time. So my brother walked up to me and said, "Oh, you know what? You guys have been doing this importation and trading. Don't you think you should take the business, a notch higher?" And I didn't even think manufacturing at the time. Manufacturing didn't even click to me, And he was, at that time, the president at the time had placed a ban on some items. So my brother was like, "Why don't you just look at the list and see what we could do?" And we looked at the list, while we're just it was an informal discussion. While we're just talking, he mentioned, "Okay, why don't we do toothpick?" My sister said, "Well, how about juice?" And all that. Another brother of mine said, "Okay, maybe we should even think of going to Benue. They've got fruits there. We could start, packaging juice and all of that." And while we're discussing, my mom walked into the conversation and she was like, "How about tissue paper?" And you know how you're discussing and somebody comes up with an idea that kind of just makes all of the idea fly out of the window. And it was just like a light bulb moment where it was like, okay, tissue paper, well, that's true. It doesn't expire. Everybody needs it. It's a consumable. We started looking at the advantages, of running that kind of business. And we pitched it to my dad, who was a civil servant at the time. And he was like, "Where am I supposed to get the money from?" Of course, again, manufacturing to us seemed like, it seemed just like a far-fetched idea, it's not possible. Is it achievable? It just looked like something that was for the big guys alone. And we just went on, okay, let's just even do a feasibility study. What will it take? What do we need to start putting in place and all of that? And we started doing a feasibility study, and we got where to buy the machines from. First of all, we went to South Africa. It didn't work out. They were not really responsive to our request. And then we looked at China. And because we're earlier on doing the importation and trading, we're already used to the Chinese route. So we said, okay, let's just check China and look at their machines. We went for one of the fairs. We saw some machines and we decided, okay, let's start from there. And 14 years down the line, we're here today. That's our story.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing with us, Ms. Wala. Like I said, this is like the abridged version, right? But already it's quite inspirational just hearing you again talk about this, because I think one of the things that really stands out for me is not just the fact that you started it informally, but the fact that you kept pushing yourself to, make the quality even better. And so for me, that's what I'm going to use to sort of like open the floor for this Q&A, right? What is the reason why you feel like 15 years down the line, Banrut is still pushing the envelope and still like one of the top three, companies when it comes to manufacturing of tissue paper in Nigeria?
Okay, so like I said in the story, we started earlier on, we started initially with the Chinese machines. So 5 years down the line, and when we started, we had this, the vision was to do purely premium products. So wanted to be like the Andrex, Bounty, and the rest. And we started with the premium. So material was impeccable. Our raw material was very good. But again, the machines we had couldn't take us so far. So let me give an instance. We do the toilet roll, serviette, facial box, all the works about tissue paper. So we had, at the time, we had 3 machines that were producing serviette paper. Now, the serviette paper we had then, the material was 100% virgin pulp. What you will see the likes of Andrex and Bounty and the rest use, when it comes to material. And that was the material we're using. Now, material was superior in the market, but our packaging wasn't superior. And that didn't allow us to go as far as we wanted to go from the initial point. But again, it also gave us room to build the market. So we had 3 Chinese machines producing the serviette napkin. So let me give figures. In like a month, we could produce like 5,000 bundles of serviette. But again, you know how you have the one pack of serviette, you've got 50 sheets inside. But by the time ours get to the market, the 50 sheets already look so compressed because of the kind of machine we're using to produce. It already compresses before we get to the market. So we had a hard time convincing people that, it's the same 50 sheet that other people's products have, So what we did was to first of all differentiate ourselves, knowing that we have a problem in this area that we cannot solve immediately, which was a machine problem, which was also a capacity problem. This was what we could afford. We couldn't afford the European standard. Hey, guess what? We just started our business, so we needed to grow the numbers. So what we did was we were creative with our serviette. We had a design on our white serviette, so much that people started to buy it and refer to it. They didn't even call it the Vivian serviette. They just said, give me that serviette with the rose flower. So that was the only way we could differentiate ourselves and just maybe add a little bit of more value than the normal plain white. So the normal plain white serviette was what the market was used to. But because we had a machine that wasn't presenting us properly in the market, what we did was to put this design on the serviette that made it look different. So people were not buying just the plain white serviette anymore. They were buying a white serviette that had a rose flower on it. So that was won for us. That was one way we won the market, and we started growing gradually. So 5 years down the line, we'd reached about 9 states. And at this point, we'd maximized our machine capacity. So all 3 machines were working at full capacity, producing about 5,000 bundles. Now we had other products, of course, toilet roll, facial box. They were also doing well. The facial box, that's the Vicky you find in cars today. What we did with that one was to come into the market with a penetration price. So we knew that, okay, what was offering in the market was so price. So we said, okay, no, we're new in the market. How do we swing the customers our way? How do we push them to see that we are available? First of all, the package of Vicky, we made sure that it was very attractive. Then we made the price very low. And usually for most of these customers, for most of the wholesalers, the distributors, they're always after what serves their pocket. So that was an attraction for them to look our way, and we started with that. 5 years down the line, we'd reached about 9 states, and we couldn't serve more states, but we realized that more states were now calling for our distribution. They wanted to have our products. And we knew that we couldn't serve, more than the 9 states we were serving, which meant that we needed to upgrade our machines. And at the time, we didn't have the kind of money for the kind of machines that will serve us. So we went to BOI to borrow money. And when we're going to buy the machines, of course, it cost an arm and a leg. But again, we were able to secure the loan with BOI because we had run this business for close to 5 years, and they could see the track records. Books told the story without us even being there. So you know how most of the time with these banks, when you're not in the room, it's your book that they will use to judge. You know, when I say books, I mean your accounting books, your statement of accounts and all of that. Those are the things that they're going to use to judge if you're actually qualified to take these loans. And we got the loan, we secured the loan from BOI. It wasn't something we could imagine in like 10 years that could happen. We're able to secure almost about 400 million, from BOI. That was the first loan we were able to secure with BOI. And that just took us to the next level. It took us to the next level. We're able to get new machines. And the machine, like I gave statistics of, imagine the Sabbath where we had 3 machines producing 5,000 bundles. We now bought one European standard machine that was producing 19,000 bundles a month. So imagine the same number of hours, less human, human resources to man the machine. Maybe we just needed 2, whereas where we're coming from, we're using 6 people for 3 machines. But here we had 1 machine doing 19,000 bundles, the same number of hours that the other 3 were doing, the same number or the same quantity of diesel, I would say, and that kind of just took us to the next level. 6-9 months down the line of installing that machine, we're able to buy another one with our own funds, without borrowing. We were able to buy another one with our own funds. And we just went on with that, so this machines kind of presented our products better. I tell manufacturers this, that I found out that in my 14, 15 years of running a manufacturing business, honestly, one of the things that stands you out are your machines, your machinery, your packaging. Those are the things that actually push you in the market, because I can testify of this, we have experienced this by and large, throughout these years. So that has been what has taken us to where we are today. And also we have stuck to our quality. It's been painful because, you're in an environment also where the masses are not looking for premium. That's the truth. Most of the time, the masses are looking for just something that should just, that they can get by with. So what happened was, along the line, we also had to introduce the low-graded paper products, because we also didn't want to lose that part of the market. Yes, we're serving the premium side of the market where everyone wants their tissue to be virgin paper, pure white or pure cream, as the color may be. But again, we have also the masses who also want to use tissue paper, but they don't want to spend that much. So you and I might be able to afford 100 naira toilet roll, but there's some people in some other areas, and they're more than you and I, that want a toilet roll, a tissue paper for just 50 naira, or a tissue paper for just 40 naira. So we didn't want to do that initially, but we started to find that it's necessary for us to be able to serve every part of the market and also be truly a household name. We needed to start finding ways in serving that market as well, and also having a representation in that market as well. We might not serve that market as much as we serve the premium market, but we're also available there regardless of whatever the market is demanding from us. So that I would say is where we have pushed the product, to push the brand to. Another thing about what I would say helped our brand to stand, and also to be able to even buy into this low-graded papers, was because initially we started with the premium brand. So when we were going to introduce the recycled brand or the low-graded paper, people felt as long as it's coming from Banrut, it's still going to be a good paper. So that's another thing that I would say helped us to be able to push the recycled paper into the market easily. That's what I will say.
Thank you so much for sharing. I mean, there's so many lessons from this, but I don't want to hog up the space, so I'll allow more people to ask questions. So please, if you have questions, just indicate by raising your hand, and you can unmute, or Maria would unmute you. Okay, Musti, please go ahead. Can you unmute or can Maria unmute you?
Yes, good evening, everyone.
Evening.
Evening.
Okay, so it's indeed a pleasure. I've been using your roles for a while now, and it's indeed a pleasure speaking with the COO of the brand. So,
Thank you.
in your years of experience doing this manufacturing business, I know at some point you must have reached some dead end where you feel like giving up on the entire journey. Can you share, if there is any, that experience with us and how you were able to come out of it? And also, how do you measure success? How can you say the Banrut roles is successful? And my third question is, in the manufacturing space, it has a lot to do with the staffs and then the people that are at the production end, and keeping them and making them do the right thing is what will definitely make the brand stand out. So how have you been able to find the right people and keeping the right people? I think those are my three questions.
All right, thank you very much, Musti. Ms. Bola, over to you. Did you get all the questions? Hi, Ms. Bola, are you still with us? Okay, I think we lost her for a bit. Maria, can you confirm if she's still on the call? Maria?
No, she's not. I think she lost her. Maybe
Lost
she's
her
trying
connection,
to.
right? Okay, so let's give her a minute or two to reconnect.
Yes.
So I would just type out Musti's question again, just in case. So I think Musti, your question is about success, right? How does she measure success? Musti, are
No,
you still
yes, that's the second question.
That's the second question. Okay, what's the first one?
Yes. The first one is, at some point in the journey, is there any point where
Oh, okay, where she felt like giving up. Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Yes. And then the third question is, how have you been able to find and keep the right people?
Okay. Okay, so while we're waiting for Ms. Bola to come back on the call, if you have any questions, you can either put them down in the chat or just write them somewhere until she's back on the call, and then we can take them. I can see someone else whose hand is up. Meg's phone. You have a question?
Yes, I have a question, Farida. Good evening and good evening all. I have a question.
Evening, how are
May
you
I
doing?
go on?
Yes, you can put it in the chat because she's not on the call. I think we lost her because of the network. But once she's back on the call, we can take it. So you can either put it on in the chat or wait for her to come back on the call. All right, great. Anyone else has a question for Ms. Bola? Musti, do you still have a question? I can see your hand is still up. Maria, have you been able to get her back? So I want to try and reach her. Just give me a couple of minutes and then I would come back on the call. Okay, hello everyone. So I'm trying to reach Miss Bola, but I still can't get her. I don't know what's happening. It's either a network issue or a phone issue, but I can't reach her via phone as well. So I'm really sorry about that. I don't know if we should watch. So what do you think we should do? Should we wait a couple more minutes to see if she should come back online, or should we just end the meeting and reschedule for another time? Any suggestions?
I think we can try to take up some of the questions. If there's anyone who has suggestions, I'm on the road, so my background might be noisy, but
Okay.
I think we could try to answer some of the questions in-house.
Okay, so like the questions that were for her, there's only one person asked questions and it's all for her. So it's not like there's a general question. So yeah, that makes it difficult for anyone to like answer the questions, right? Because they're like personal, they're directed at her personal experience. Anyone else has another suggestion? Musi, I don't know if he's on the call. He asked the question, so I wanted to know if, okay, it looks like he's not on the call anymore. So we're taking suggestions for what to do because we can't get Ms. Bola back on the call. So for those of you that are online now, what is your suggestion about what we should do? Okay, I think Musti is back online now. So I'll just wait for him to join and then we ask the question again. Hi, Musti, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, so I'm saying that we haven't been able to reach Miss Bola on the phone. I tried to call her. I can't reach her on the phone as well. I don't know what the issue is. So we're trying to take suggestions. Should we end the meeting now and reschedule for another time? Or do we wait another 5 minutes just in case she comes back?
Okay, let's wait
Oh,
for
I
another
think
5
she's back.
minutes.
I think she's
Okay.
back. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I'm so
Hi.
sorry.
Oh, yay. I tried to call you, but you were going through. I was like, what happened?
I was like, this connection, please don't mess me up.
Okay, so it's good to have you back.
I'm so sorry.
I don't know if you got all of Musti's questions.
No, I didn't get everything. I think he said something about challenges that I got the part where he said
so
he wanted
he
me
had
to.
so he had 3 questions for you. I put it in the chat. But we're just about to go on, our break and then come back again. So I think you better so that you can answer then, right?
Okay then. Okay.
So the 3 questions he has are: how do you measure success? How do you know that Banrut is successful? Like, what is your definition of success? Right? That's the first question. The second question, he said, did you ever feel like giving up at any point? And if you did, how did you come out of it?
Okay.
That's the second question.
Then I think he had a question about people.
Yes, that's the third question. He said, how did you find and keep the right people? I'm really looking forward to your answer to that. So I'm going to quickly end and then come back. We're not going to be on the break for more than 2 minutes. So if you're on this call, please just link back with the same link that was sent to you so that we can hear her answers and take more questions. Thank you very much, everyone.